UI for Heroes of the Forest mobile app for the game. So I've got a few items on the agenda that I want to discuss with you and build with you. And yeah, I would love to receive your feedback. So first, we've got to decide on the icon to be used for both iOS and Google Play stores. So I've tried a few versions here, as you can see, 1 to 6, and I really welcome what will be your best solution. And by the way, here I've also let's see here I've also mocked how this would look. This is my preferred choice. You can see that Snarlack is my preferred, and that is because I've seen that a lot of gaming apps actually have like they're using the characters from the game to on the icons. It's way more fun than actually have like a boring text. So yes, that's how I've mocked it here. You can see. And yeah, let's would love to hear which would be your favorite. So I know 4, 5, and 6 is obviously the same character. The difference is the cropping. I think it has to be tested a
Yeah.
little bit, right? But yeah, welcome thoughts on this.
I like 5. It looks cool. Uh, I vote for 5
Yeah,
for
me
the
too.
iOS icon.
I like 5, but I feel like it needs another background, like something more colorful.
Okay, yeah. So we can actually do this together. So I've got my assets here. Hopefully Figma behaves, but these are the choices that we have, right? So you can see these are the backgrounds. Well, normally Snarlack is in this background, right? That's why I've chosen it. But
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. We can choose any of these. So we have nine backgrounds in total. We can also go with the default one, the green one, as you know. So
Let's go for something that popping and you can see and recognize directly after a few rounds that you played. I mean, a few times you go in the app and you immediately recognize, oh, this game, Heroes of the Flow, like that.
Well, I'm looking at like the Play Store, and like most of these apps, like yeah, they have the game character, but like the background is it's like either like a single color or it has like gradient or many colors, but like they're like faded.
all
So that
right.
way, like the character pops more, but the background is colorful. So the app icon itself, like it also pops. Like
Okay.
maybe put like I don't know, like what would go with white? Maybe like ice blue, something like that behind Snarlack.
Yes, let me try this.
Try a blue color. Let's see what's popping and recognizable.
So you can see that you can have it
Yeah,
more like colorful like that. Oh, my computer is slow, but
Red could be a good one, and I think it's one of the most like used colors to get attention.
yeah.
I always like the combo between blue and red, like variations like that.
Oh, that looks nice.
Something like that.
Yeah,
You're
we can
right.
explore.
Maybe put the red on top and the blue on the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah, I like that. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, you're right. So let's see if we test this in this visual here.
Yeah, put it there, see how it's going to look.
Oh, wait. This is big. Supposed to be quicker, but because I'm recording as well. Oh yeah, you're right. It pops much better.
Oh yeah, it looks so cool.
Yeah.
Already, I want to click on it. Actually, yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I'm happy. You know, I can run past the team, but I think this is, you're right, that this is better. We can, to be honest, we can still put some, like a little bit of a, so for example, if I put this on multiply, we can do something like that at a small opacity. Just a bit of a texture if we really wanted.
Nah.
Okay, so I'll play with it. Yeah, but I'm happy with that. Thank you for your input. We can test this and see what people think.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, cool. So then we have the home screen, right? So this is how it is currently. This is just Morgan's kind of just taken the elements and doing it without much design. So I've just added, basically I've made the play button bigger. I'm using a different logo here, a little bit more poppy logo, even though it's a bit darker, true, but it's just more finished. And then yes, just the smaller buttons that are secondary, so they're less significant, I've put underneath. And the quit button, I'm not sure we're gonna, because I don't see that very often, so it's something to be discussed, but we may not have a quit button anyway further down the line.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Like all
The
phones
sign out-
have the home button. In the case of iPhones or in Android, you have the back button. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've ever pressed a quit button in mobile games. Like I just closed the app.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, basically this, I think that this home screen will go to many iterations, right? We'll probably be adding more things, but for the next one, I think that's what we'll do. We'll just have the play button bigger, like this.
Yeah. Will there be a settings button?
Yes, and to be honest, so we have it here. We'll probably have settings.
Because if you have settings, then you can put the sign out button inside settings, and then put something else where it says sign out. Like it could be, I don't know, whatever else is going to be added, but maybe it can be something else. Because usually in games, like the sign out option is inside settings.
True, very true. Good point. I mean, in settings, we'll have sounds, for example, right? The level of sound and all of that. So yeah, let me just do that. But I will need to design the settings screens separately. Yeah, okay, I'll have to add a new icon. But yes, you're right. In there, you have more options.
Yep.
Okay.
I like how it looks.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
just maybe like for the logo of Heroes of the Flow, like it blends a little bit with the background, so maybe add like a shade or something behind it.
Yeah, I've tried a little bit of that, but yes, I'll keep trying.
But maybe put a glow on the Heroes of the Flow. Could work.
Or make
Glow.
the background darker.
Yeah.
Like at least only for that screen, like the background is darker, and then once you start playing, like the background goes back to normal.
For sure, it was darker, but I'm just worried that it becomes too dark. I think I'll just get Simone to just do a version of the logo that's a bit brighter. Or use the old logo.
I think it looks cool because it also makes the buttons pop more.
But yes, I can make it darker.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, I'll work on that. Okay, and then so now the interesting stuff, right? So like a few changes, right? So there are a few things here that and a few variations on this main screen that I've done. So the main thing is how it used to be is these settings here that no one understood what's going on, which are the turns as well as the victories. Now, a key feature that we'll add, and we'll talk about it in a second, but this will be like a map of, and I'll wireframe it there, but a map of the progression, and meaning that after 10 battles won, you win the war, right? You win the game. So one thing is I've removed the stats. I've only left the life to the left, and then
Yeah.
and then this is the mana essentially, or the flow. We haven't really decided which one we'll stick with, but well, you guys have played it, as I'm sure at this point you understand. But the point is, we'll also add a map, and out of these versions, basically it's just the layout of these buttons, but actually this is the one that Morgan and I loved the most. Oh no, not this one. So we put this one here, where we're actually planning to do the following, because in this way, so you can see the mana to the left, right? You can see draw. So I just think some people get at first glance that they have 10 mana to start with. That's not very clear. And why isn't it together with the draw? Is because it's really about the mana. Draw is -1. And I've put the sacrifice set free +1. And then I've made a mini map here, which is just a mock-up, but it will just then open the map itself with the progress. It's a bit cleaner.
Yeah, I like this one. It's beautiful.
Well, why, like, I think that in this screen, like, the most important thing is the mana, right? The mana management. So my feedback would be, your idea is that the mana goes on the center of the screen, like up in the center, and like make it bigger, so that each time you do something, you like set free a minion, draw new cards, like it changes the number, right? It has like the animation that shows -1 or -3, depending on what you do, or +1 if you set a minion free. But it's on the top center of the screen and big, because where it is right there, like my thumb might be covering it. Like how you grab the cell phone, like my thumb would probably be near the battle button and near the draw button. And like I'm holding my cell phone right now, right? And I'm imagining the mana 10 in there, and it's like blocking it. So like no matter what I do, like it's gonna block the mana, the mana circle. So if you put it on top, like it's more visible. So no matter where your thumbs are, no matter what movement you do, like you will see the mana change. And I think that it's going to be easier to understand for people. Like they will see, oh wait, like -3 mana, what is that? And then, oh, so here it says draw -1 or something like that. So that would be like my feedback. As for the map, Well, the map is related to battle, right? Like it's your yeah, like your how to explain? Like yeah, each battle like you move in the map, so maybe the map put it above the battle button. But I don't know how much that will interfere with the minions.
What if you can have mana on the top, as it is now in the middle, and you put the draw on the one side and set free the other side?
Yeah,
But
because
this
I think that's too far away from your thumbs.
Okay.
yeah, that's the problem with that. I was gonna say, so because yeah, it's, draw and set free is actually actions, but the circle with the mana, that's not a button or anything. That's just informational.
Yeah.
And it just goes back to how it was, right? Draw is on the left. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, if your worry is that your thumb is going to cover it, we can just put it a bit higher. Of course, that depends on the phone, etc.
Well, maybe like it also depends on how you play the game, because when I usually like play Heroes of the Flow, like I grab my phone with both hands, right? And maybe some people will put the phone in the table and play with their index fingers, so they see more of the screen. But that's like just in my case, and maybe other people's cases that they grab their phone with both hands. I mean, the solution would be to just put your phone in the table and play with the index finger, right? Like that's less hand covering the screen, but some people play like that.
Can we try at least how does it feel in the game and how it plays in the game and change it up on that?
What do you mean? Sorry.
If you go to the original layout and play it in the game with that. No, the last one that you showed us when Morgan did yeah, like mana in the original place, and we play with it and see how it feels and how it works.
This one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell him to build it soon and just test it. Yeah. Because my issue is with this, like just compositionally, if it's in the middle, then it's just just from design perspective, it doesn't work because it works less powerful because you have left, you have middle, you have right, you have too many things, you don't know where to look. So just from design perspective, clustering elements together in terms of logical sense makes sense. But yes, I understand your point as well. Then yes, if we have it back to the top, do we then put it here? We also have this mini map now. Where can we put that? So the less breakpoints that we have, the less points with elements that we have on the screen, the better, because
well, in the case of the map, like how is it gonna work? For example, do I first have to look into the map, choose a point in the map, and then click battle? Or can I just click battle and then it will like send me automatically whatever it needs to in the map?
So
because if I have to like click on the map, choose a place in the map, then to me it makes sense to have it near battle. So like you choose a point in the map, close the map, and then the battle button, like it shows that you can now click on it. If you haven't chosen anything in the map, then you can't click the battle button unless it works different.
Well, it will have an order left to right. So you won't be able to just go in anywhere, right? So it will be predefined for you the path that you're going to take. So it's more for informational purposes as well as to add some lore. So it's going to be the following. And to be honest, we're not so sure. We just briefly discussed it. But so once you start the game, right, you start from scratch, you press play. Then probably in a lot of games I've seen this, right? of course, they then start from the left. You start there. There is nothing for you to do, but maybe, yeah, maybe you select this space, right? So this is showing after 2 levels already, but you select this space, you press battle, then you go in this main screen, and after every battle, it then puts you to the next spot that you've achieved, right?
Yeah.
So the screen will appear between every battle now.
Okay.
Yeah, classic game. Choose your next target or move.
We could probably make it interesting if Morgan really wants to. Is like if you have different paths, that probably can be made. But the point is, one thing that needs to be fixed is the number of rounds. That will be defined to 10. And also,
even you have.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Further down the line, we can probably add some additional things, but right now the mechanics would be that the minions are the same in each battle as well, so it won't be like different. There won't be like surprises and treasures and things like that yet.
Mini bosses.
That would be nice.
I was thinking if you have different paths, then you also have a higher chance of replayability. So people could play from the beginning, take the next route, and the next time take the next route.
So you prefer different paths, I suppose?
Yeah, I like that.
It's not a bad idea. Yes, it's just, yeah. And of course, if we can include some, like with Slay the Spire, you have some treasures, you have some surprises, you have a rest. You can probably where they lost one life. That could be a nice one as well. But I'm really adding something that I'm not sure that Morgan is on board with.
And another thing for the there's gonna be multiplayer. Gonna be on that screen or is it gonna be on the menu screen? Because that also changes how we see the UI. Like if there's gonna be another button, then there's more space management to be done.
Yeah, no, that will be further down the line. So when we do that, we'll worry about the UI then. So the UI will change. It's pointless to have a button for functionality that is nowhere near live. So yes, that will change it. But yes, multiplayer is probably going to be selected at the beginning. So yes, you have the different modes. We'll have them there.
I think you also need a home button in the map if you just jump on the map, jump in the home screen.
Yes. You mean like here, like right now this it's a bit confusing. The setting buttons is essentially yeah. Okay, and then yeah, let's think about this. Thank you guys. It's very good point for this. Good points for discussions here. And then finally, we've got the famous codex, and that's quite interesting. I actually did this in like, very quickly, but that's because yes, I've, I really got the inspiration. But essentially, so the codex. This is what is being discussed. A couple of versions. We prefer the top version here, V1, in which we've got the tiers. So it's like a book, right? And you can browse through the pages left to right. And by the way, this is a mock-up, right? It's not going to be the final book. But yes, you browse through the minions that you have and the keys that you have, all the cards that you have the minions of. So let's say right now we've got Grungus. Ignore the repetition, but it's supposed to be, say Grungus, you have 3 rarities, and it's also show how many cards you have of that. Like somebody has more than 1 rare, for example, it can show you that. But the point is, it shows your collection there, and you can filter by tier, and you can filter by rarities. But this is the first page. So it's select a card to see more details. Then you select it. Say you've selected dot bug. You see the details. Of course, it's going to have health, attack, default values there. There is a button to read the lore that is kind of a separate page. And again, that will come later, right? We haven't yet designed that. And there is a drop down, which is just a mock-up here, but a drop down to filter by rarity. So if you just want to see your legendary cards, you can do that, or you can tick, oh, I want to see legendary and epic, and it just shows you those, right, if you want it. But the default option will be to show all rarities.
Yeah, I like that. Looks so cool.
Oh, and there is a button to get more cards, which is gonna be upselling more cards to people. We'll see about that, but essentially, eventually to work like that. And this is the second design, which is again a book, but just the layout is different, and it doesn't have. I actually don't know how it's gonna work because yes, it's probably the same principle again. Button to filter between the rarities, filter between the tiers. I think the main difference is like once you tap on a card, it's displayed like this.
Yeah.
Actually, I like that screen more, or like it's like it has more focus on the card itself. So you have like more time to look at the art and yeah, like enjoy the art. And what I'm envisioning right now with the is that, for example, it's like the common dot bug, then the rare, epic, and legendary. But since you don't have the epic and legendary, like it's gonna show like something different, like a card showing you that you don't own those. And of course, people won't like that, so that will probably make them want to buy those cards. So it feels in the book like those sticker books, right? That you buy, like for example, the FIFA ones, where you have to buy like these stickers and then put it in the book. So if it looks empty, you don't like that. You want to buy the sticker so you can add that into the book and it's full.
Yes,
So it
I
can be
don't know
like a
whether
cheeky way to want people to collect all of the NFTs.
It's a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, this way, with this version, you also can see if you have legendary drop bug, you can see the animation looks more in focus and see how it works. So and yeah, I like this one.
But you prefer probably the layout of the first one, the original layout. I like them in 2 rows versus 1 row for some reason, actually, looking at it.
And you have the last animation with the first layout.
Yeah, I mean, one option is you can say like you click. First of all, we can remove this right part. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Or we can have it, but then there is another button there which is like see more, even more detail, or like see more detail. So you've selected it, you see it there, and then you click on it and you see it even bigger. Because do you like that?
So there's common, there's rare, epic, and legendary. So that's 4 cards per minion.
Correct.
And there we see 6, right? But I suppose that but we will only see 4 instead of 6? Or is it gonna be 1 page per minion, or is it gonna be 1 page per tier? So for example, in this screen, we're seeing tier 1. So will you be able to like scroll down to see the rest of the minions, or does that gray arrow indicate that if you want to see the next minion, you have to click there?
What do you think?
Well, it's a little bit confusing right now, right? Because you have Dotbug and Grungus in the same page, but I know those are not the only tier 1 minions, so that gray arrow indicates that there are more minions in the next page.
Yeah.
But like the thing is that right now there are 6 cards, and if I collect like all of the Dotbugs and all the Grungus, there should be 8 cards instead of 6.
Yes.
But that means that the cards will look smaller.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I like V2, because you can show like a single page with all the 4 different cards for the single minion, so all the 4 Dotbugs. Common, rare, epic, and legendary. And then on the gray arrows are for looking at the next minion in the tier 1 list. And so it would always show like the ones that you're missing, or unless like it's a page for every tier. So like, for example, V2, it's like that, but remove the gray arrows. So what you do if you want to look at the next minion, you just scroll down in tier 1. And then if you want to look at tier 2, then you click tier 2 button, and it's the same. Like all the tier 2 minions and cards are in there, and you scroll down. And if it's only going to be 4 cards per minion, then you can maybe make them slightly bigger, so it fits. Like it looks better if it's a little bit bigger. Or it can be the same size, because if you click like, let's say, inspect card or something like that, then it shows that screen that you're selecting right now, and like now you can see more details of the card. I mean, right now I'm thinking of like those books that I'm telling you, the collection books where you put stickers that you buy in stores to fill them in. That's what I'm thinking right now.
Yes, exactly. And so the problem, okay, so it really depends if we want to show like you said earlier, whether we're showing the empty slots or not. If we are not showing the empty slots and we show what people have, then we honestly can't predict how many people have per page, right? And then we wouldn't want just a 1 Dotbug per page. So initially I was designing this so we just show common and tier 1, which are 6, right? Then we discussed with Morgan, and we discussed that we want to show all the rarities. But again, I can't predict how many rarities they'll have, right? So that's where it's coming from. And I think, it's a bit tricky, but also, the scrolling down is a bit tricky because it's also a book, and the logic would be a book goes left to right. Like, if we want to be realistic. I know that this is an app, we can do whatever we want, but I don't know, for some reason I think Morgan didn't like the scrolling down for a book, if it's a book design.
No, that makes sense.
But how about having it like in this option, right? I know that it's confusing because you do have Dotbug, but in this option, technically, these last 2 Dotbugs would have been the next minion in line, and it's just as it falls, right? How basically there's a specific order, and that's it. You always see a certain amount, and it doesn't matter if it's the same minion or it's mix of minions. And that's how it was intended here, right? So the next page would be the next ones from the same tier.
Yeah. I think this works. This when you turn your page, you see the next 6 minions, and you turn your page and you see the next 6 minions. And if you don't have minions, 1 or 2, so you just empty, but you can see the rest. screen. Yeah.
Well, in that case, like if it's gonna be a book, I think it should be 1 page per minion. And also, for example, you have that screen, right? But what if I don't have the legendary and the epic Grungus? Then those two dot box at the bottom, like they move back, right? And there's gonna be empty space in there. Like what would go there?
The next minion from tier 1.
Okay.
Let's think about this. Yes, let's think about this because yes, the main thing is whether we show the empty slots or not. I think that's what we need to decide first because that impacts heavily the design.
Well, in a certain way, it makes sense to show the empty slots because if someone new comes to the game, right, and they start playing, and then they see someone with a sick animation, like they're gonna wonder, oh, how do I get this sick animation? And once they go into the codex, like they will see that they have like some missing cards that look fancier, like the legendary card, and they will say, oh, maybe that's why I don't have that animation. I need a legendary Grungus. So in a certain way, like we have to show people the rarities or what they're missing, so they understand why some players have those animations.
Yes, you're right. But I'm starting to warm up to this idea because, yeah, you're right, guys, that on this idea here, Legendary has, you haven't seen it yet very much. You may have seen it on our Twitter, but Legendary has a sick animation of the edges, which is going to look really good on the screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
It would be nice if you have the option to view it in full screen. That way you could, view it, have it as a back wallpaper. Just a thought for the future. But it looks, I like this. Yeah, I like this.
So how did you say to view it a full screen?
Yeah, so then you can have it in full screen on your phone. But that's a thought.
Without buttons, you mean, or?
Yeah. This is good, but if you wanted to see it in full screen, perhaps you could have option as well.
Okay. It's becoming a coat of cards, the card coat.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that's what we have. That's what we have for today. Thank you so much for your input. I think this is really good. And yes, I will let me know if you think of something else or you find examples for this codex. Yes, if you see any like digital books and digital collectible galleries for inspiration, feel free to send. And yeah, the rest, yeah, we just need to do a bit more thinking. But yeah, it's always good to just run it past you guys before we even build it. So we get first opinions.
Awesome.
Nice. So that's it then from today. Let me stop the recording.